Welcome back to Western Kabuki. We are, man, I fucking really whiffed it.
It's so hard. It's hard to intro.
So hard.
It's hard.
I was trying to do like one of those June riffs, but you know, I don't have it. Like, give me a second. I'll do it. I can do it. Welcome back to Western Kabuki, where we have been privately off recording, talking about the struggle of how difficult it is to intro a podcast. Being a podcast producer is incredibly difficult. You guys really should have a lot of sympathy for us because we really go through a lot for you.
I'm so tired.
It's the hardest job there is. It's harder than being a mother.
There's not enough books about the struggles of podcasting. You'd think that'd be a good market. Maybe I'll start that.
June, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I started my novel about how hard it is to podcast just like 2 seconds ago. It's gonna make it big, so I'm doing great.
Caleb, you already told us how tired you are. Anything else going on?
To quote the Seahawks quarterback great Russell Wilson, you have to love the process, okay? You don't love the end result of the podcast. You love the yap.
It's true. And there's something, I love nothing more than just spouting off bullshit and talking and laughing. It's my greatest joy. I would be doing this on the streets. I would just be going up to random people, talking to people.
I love
every day of my
over
fucking
others
life.
And interrupting and being rude and stupid and crude. So this is a really big part of my week.
Same, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like you've been training your entire life for this.
Mm-hmm.
Lolo, what's going on?
I'm in a little bit of trouble because there was this Robert Irwin. You know, Robert Irwin is Steve Irwin's son.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, the very kind child.
Well, he's a man now. He's a full-grown adult. Just to
Okay.
be clear, he's not a child anymore.
Okay.
And well, he said something about the 100 gorillas thing, or he had his opinion on that, and I may have said, like, you know, mind you, his father was washed by a stingray.
Oh no!
Oh,
You're getting eaten alive, aren't you?
It's not good. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Did he notice? Did Steve Irwin's son notice?
No.
Okay, he's gonna see it.
I didn't traumatize him. I didn't re-traumatize him.
I mean, you are right though.
I'm
Objectively, you are right though about being washed by the eel. He like we don't want to admit it, but he was like
low key washed.
Do you realize like how incredibly our audience is going to turn on us for this?
No, I'm joking.
I feel so bad for our guest.
No, I'm joking.
No, this is like I come in here and for very first thing I hear, this is like, God, you might as well try and like shit on Mr. Rogers while you're at it. Holy hell.
Dead Domain's going to be doing a video on us.
Yeah.
Just to clear the record, I love Steve Irwin. I am not.
Nobody doesn't like Steve Irwin.
I love him. Hot take.
Fuck him.
He
That's
sucks.
what I think.
And
Just
joining us tonight is Jordan, who has the Dead Domain YouTube channel and the WTF podcast. Jordan, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful. How are you? Well, I guess I was going to say, how are y'all reflexively, but we just went over all that, so we can skip the
You're just polite. You're not like a psychotic misanthrope like the rest of the people on this call right now.
We want to
I try not
son.
to be.
Thanks so much for joining us. The part of the reason we had you, we got in touch is because last week you released a really comprehensive video about Brianna Wu, and I mean, I think all of our listeners know who she is by this point, but
I think most do, but I think we should still give like that pretext.
Yeah. Would you? Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you want me to introduce her?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
You are a historian of her at this point.
She's a friend of the show.
Yeah, it's certainly friend of the show, Brianna Wu. It's always interesting when I do, because this is the third kind of deep dive project I've done, where I take on these kind of outliers in these online spaces. The other two I've done have been Matt Walsh and Synthetic Man.
I don't
Where
know
I've just
Synthetic
looked-
Man, but
Yeah,
Matt
I
Walsh
know.
certifiably evil.
He's like a
Yes.
incel Nazi dork.
Yep, incel Nazi YouTuber who just kind of festers there, and it's always interesting when I am done kind of cataloging and watching all of this content, because I come away knowing these people so well, and I don't want to.
They're like your friends.
Yeah, they sure are. They sure are. It Brianna Wu. What can be said about Brianna Wu that hasn't been said already? She is a former congressional candidate. Technically, she's an artist. If you want to be liberal about the term, she's a game developer. If you're incredibly generous. And technically, she's a PAC leader / political activist, who right now I think is maybe Israel's biggest cheerleader, is kind of her, I guess, job description at the moment.
The reason that Brianna blocks at least half of us is because we were demanding to know what her line of work was, what her job was, and that's how most of us got blocked.
Yeah, I forget what she was posting about at the time, but she was basically talking about like, hard days of work. My job. I'm being affected because Israel. My standing up to Israel. My job is so hard, and I think we were just like straight up. What is your job? Like, what do you do? What do you fucking do?
I mean, up until recently, she was the quote unquote executive director of Rebellion PAC. And then was quietly it was so quietly done that as I was editing, when I went to the Rebellion PAC website, like old articles that she had posted there about this is, our pledge to queer people or whatever 2 or 3 years ago when she started the PAC with Cenk Uygur, were just like dead links now. Like they've been scrubbed.
So she has, if I went on the website, I wouldn't find her name or anything she touched at all basically anymore.
I would be surprised if you did. I would be really surprised.
My God.
They took a pretty good broom to that thing.
Because do you think that she did something to or maybe judging by the video you made, do you think that she did nothing and that's why they got rid of her? Like, what is there?
Honestly,
has been anybody who said anything about what happened?
No, I haven't been contacted by anybody. I've had a couple people in the wake of the video come out and give me a couple stories that on their own are not big enough to pursue, but I don't know what really happened there. I would be fascinated to know. I'm just because I'm a nosy bitch like that, but it's so it does just kind of seem like somebody got tired of her, and whether that was because she was not doing anything, whether that was because of the Israel support, I couldn't tell you.
It's astounding it took that long to I guess oust her from Rebellion PAC, because she's been on this path that she's been on for almost 2 years at this point, a year and a half for sure. So I don't think it's just that Cenk didn't notice that she was being a psychopath and evil and turning to the right very openly. So it's weird. I know she said she was gonna step aside. She had some voice struggles, her throat was hurting or something like that. I think that was the excuse she said. I don't know how much of that is accurate though.
So one thing I didn't, I guess this is a hot scoop for y'all, but one thing I didn't from DMs that were shared with me with Brianna back in I think it would have been 3 or 4 years ago now. She was telling somebody that there's a high probability she has cancer.
Oh.
And nothing ever came of that. And so I don't know if that's okay, it's just a cancer scare, which, hey, that happens to people. Being, giving a little bit of grace, okay, maybe she had a cancer scare. But on the flip side of it, I cannot trust anything she says, that it won't just be some kind of excuse, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think for people who haven't watched this video, definitely go check it out. It's probably the most comprehensive dive into pretty much every single thing
about her. Yeah,
you documented before she like you found stuff of her online that wasn't even under Brianna Wu, like not even under the Brianna Wu name. Like I feel like I know too much about her at this point.
What Jordan, what made you want to do this video? What was the thing that was like, fuck it? What was the moment? I got to do a Brianna Wu video.
Oh, she blocked me on Blue Sky. No, that's I'm petty. I'm not that petty. It was a number of things, and it kind of came to a head. I joke, but it was like right after she did block me, because we had a bit of a kerfuffle where I talk about this a little bit in the video, where she was saying, you know, she's going on her tear about how non-binary people are not transgender. And I just kind of like, I wasn't having a great day. So I was like, okay, look here, Brianna. Like, I get HRT. I've gone through years of hormone therapy. I get electrolysis and all of this gender affirming care that has helped me. I'm not a trans woman. What's up? Like in your little, like spectrum here. How do I fit in? To which she said, I'm definitionally transsexual, and then blocked me. And I just like, it rubbed me the wrong way. And then to see her continue doing that to other people while also going on the Zionist tip. And it was a combination of that and a lot of people coming to me being like, hey, you should look into this. You should talk to this person. You should
you, just for, again, if you hadn't heard too much about Brianna Wu or don't know who she is, can you maybe outline kind of like where she started with, philosophically speaking, and what her background was on all this, and then kind of explain the curve that she's kind of gone through in the last few years?
Yeah, because if you put all of the lying and obfuscating aside, Brianna is kind of a fascinating person in like an abstract sense, because you have somebody who was adopted by a rich conservative family, went through some apparently very hard years in college, both trying to find what she wanted to do, dealt with addiction, worked for the Bush administration at some point. Sorry, excuse me, my dog. Give me just 1 second.
You're good.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it. Yes, you stop. My goodness, I'm so sorry.
We love dog appearances, pet appearances in the show.
She's okay. You're all right. Give me 1 second. I apologize so much.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
While they take care of that, Lolo, you found an archive post on the website that's no longer up, written by Brianna Wu. I imagine there was a lot of press releases written by her talking about like the goal of this organization that are just no longer on this website anymore.
To be clear, this is the Rebellion Pack we're talking about, right?
Yeah, going back a little
August,
bit. Yeah.
This is from August of 2024.
Okie dokie. Yes.
So it's not that long ago. This
Fairly recent. And I think
very recent.
She was involved with this for way before that too. But go on, Jordan.
Yeah, so Brianna, somebody who like was in Republican electoral politics from a pretty young age, had a lot of money coming up, and you know, hey, whomst among us did not stumble around and fuck around a little bit in our 20s? She ended up coming out as trans, transitioning, and kind of found a pace trying her hand at game development. And what ended up happening from there was, for a lot of people, she became known as like one of the main targets of Gamergate. And when you really look into that, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny, because it sure does seem like she inserted herself into a lot of Gamergate. And then
you don't necessarily come right out and say it, but it's kind of implied that she made it worse on herself.
She embellishes.
Yeah.
I always thought that she, like, whenever I would, like, before she kind of took this recent, and by recent I mean like year and a half, super mega Zionist right-wing turn, I would always describe her as someone that was heavily involved in like the whole Gamergate thing. Well, it worked on me, like the way she framed it.
Yeah, not to take anything away from the video, because you should watch it if you're listening to this, but one of the juxtapositions there is that in the video, Jordan, you kind of use the example of like Anita Sarkeesian or Zoe Quinn don't want to be the face of this thing. They don't take interviews while this is going on. They do later. There are very few, meanwhile, Brianna Wu is in the middle of this, taking interviews and kind of putting herself in the press.
Yeah, it was when I was looking into all this stuff, because the more people were like, hey, you should talk to this person, look at this, it just kept spinning out into new tangents and new rabbit holes to go down. And there was a point at which I was like, okay, you know what? Let me try and do my journalistic due diligence. Let me look up what the interviews were like from Zoe and Anita. And then during 2014, 2015, I couldn't really find any outside of like Anita had a late night. I think I was on the Colbert Report, just to talk about like what was happening with Gamergate. And then I think Zoe had one or two things. But then when you look at what Brianna was writing herself, you look at what was being written about her, the interviews she was doing, it is so lopsided. Just the like footprint she left, especially when you consider the incredibly small place she had in the industry. Like she was not a well-known personality before she was, forced to flee her house.
Can you tell us about her game and what, such as
God,
it
it's
was
so
or is?
bad. Oh.
Yeah, tell us about what that was, and like so we can get kind of an idea of why she might have tried to insert herself into the media landscape a little more.
So I didn't talk about it because I had to cut a lot of stuff from the script because it's it's very speculative sometimes, but Brianna's style of fiction is very Ready Player One core. Like it's very much you can like she just kind of all but comes out and says the franchise name of the thing that she's influenced by. And so you could if you look at the footage of Revolution 60, which was her game, you can just very much see like, oh, okay, no, it's like Heavy Rain and like Final Fantasy and Mass Effect with the choice system and stuff. Like it takes very liberally from those things with none of the kind of style that those things might be known for. And it was a middling iOS game by all standards, ambitious for what it was trying to deliver on a handheld platform at the time. But, a lot of people, a lot of reviews saw it as very amateurish. A lot of money was apparently spent on a very professional voice cast, which is another. I don't think I quite go into that, but there were like a lot of professional anime actors who like have real fucking IMDb pages that have Brianna Wu's game on their list of credits, which is very funny. But yeah, it came out. It didn't even crack, I believe, the top. I don't remember if it was the top 100 or 1,000 downloads upon its release, and then just kind of like right after that, the thing happened with Brianna, and people. I don't want to say people knew what Revolution 60 was at that point, because a lot of people still like didn't know she made a game. In my comments, they're like, "Wow, I had no idea." But like it became a more focal point of her story for sure. Like the fact that she was a game developer.
I'm asking you this too because I'm about to draw a through line to somebody else that you have covered that we also have. But Brianna got in trouble with some of her backers.
Yeah. The backers. The backer part was very funny because it. So okay, to back up a little bit, when you're talking about like how I kind of tiptoed around the idea of like she kind of took it upon herself to find the spotlight for Gamergate and receive that harassment. That's a really heavy thing to throw at somebody.
Sure.
And part of the reason why I did so much leading up to that and expanding on all these different tangents of Brianna is that it shows a pattern of embellishing and a pattern of like making shit up and including making up entire people, which is where the Kickstarter.
That, by the way, because your video does go to way more length than we did to explain that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the like. I wanted people to know that like when I say she's doing these things, it's because I've looked into so much of her stuff and I cannot trust anything she says, and I cannot take any of it at face value. And everybody I've spoken to who's worked with her says the same thing.
I mean, I think you definitely like properly laid out like the case for the fact that it seems like more than anything, she will kind of do or say anything to get what she wants or get ahead, or will just flip flop anything. She doesn't really have any set beliefs other than it seems to be for her own like success.
Yeah, and I think it was, I couldn't have planned it better for her to have dropped her Palestinian dog tweet like the day after or the day I dropped my video, where so many people just like immediately went to me and were like, "Hey, have you seen this shit?" And I'm like pics, or it didn't happen, I guess, Brianna. Like I nobody should take this on faith because she has a history of just saying shit sometimes.
I missed it.
Yeah, I haven't
What's the
seen it.
Palestinian
What was
dog
it?
tweet?
So I have it right here.
Thank you.
I think for some context, she was visiting Israel. I don't think she's
in
there
Israel
anymore.
right now, I think.
No.
she's
She posted like 10 hours ago that she was amazed by the joy of Israel. She posted just so you know, the joy.
The joy of Israel. Yay.
They probably really do love killing children. I do believe that they do take joy in that. So this was, I think, one of her first days there. And she says, just saw some young Palestinian children training.
Hey guys, Caleb here. This has been a preview of a premium episode that you can find over on our Patreon. That is over at patreon.com/Western Kabuki. Really great episode. Really appreciated Jordan of Dead Domain for coming on. Interesting, funny, and frustrating episode. For sure. We will see you behind the paywall, or we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.